evening. My name is Dominique London. I am the the proud co-founder of the Black and Brown Workers Collective. The Black and Brown Workers Collective was formed as a response to the racism and other forms of oppression that exist within the neighborhood. We were founded in February of 2016. Our existence frames our testimony today. Currently, there is no business in the neighborhood owned by a person of color. Every bar is owned by a white, gay, cis man. This is a clear indicator of severely entrenched systematic racism. On several occasions, members of our collective have been profiled at the door and inside of these establishments in the following ways. Profiled for fitting the description by police officers in the establishment, particularly eye candy. One member was taken outside and harassed when they asked why they were being asked to produce ID after already being let into the bar. Standing at the bar for incredible lengths of time to be served a drink as white LGBTQ folk that arrived to the counter after were served. The No Tim's policy at eye candy is another clear indicator of a racialized anti-black policy that disproportionately impacts Black and Brown LGBTQ people. Not being able to enter these establishments because of a restricted and racialized dress code is discrimination and maintains a hostile and unsafe environment towards Black and Brown LGBTQ people. Being in the presence of white LGBTQ people who feel it is acceptable to appropriate Black and Brown culture for fun and entertainment is also microaggressive, subtle forms of racism that impacts overall wellness for LGBTQ people of color in the neighborhood. The BBWC has been organizing against racism in the neighborhood since February of this year. We know that systematic racism is not just restricted to the bars, but also extends to the workplaces of Black and Brown LGBTQ folks. Often after these long work days and racist microaggressions in the workplace, happy hour happens in these racist bar establishments. Our call to action frames the issues of systematic racism in workplaces for LGBTQ Black and Brown people in the neighborhood. The following data has been collected over the course of the past 6 months through one-on-one, in-depth interviews with LGBTQ people of color. For the protection of these community members, we've omitted the names and any identifiers. One worker notes the economic disparities in the HIV/AIDS field located in the neighborhood. And this is a quote. "There's obviously something I have that you need. Why aren't you compensating me for this and the way that you are doing with these white people to the degree where they are able to put down a payment on a house? I'm still living in an apartment." That can put into perspective for you when I say these things about unequal pay. I don't mean a couple of dollars. I mean literally a down payment for a house versus apartment. Here goes another one. An elder speaks of their experiences in the neighborhood when they first started working here. This is a quote. "I had a youth helping me with my research, and at night the organization gave him prevention materials, and he would go out to the balls and clubs and pass them out and talk about things. The organization said that they would pay him. That was my understanding, that this kid was going to be paid. I waited 4 weeks. It turned into 6. It turned into 8 and into 12. This is another. A bilingual worker speaks to the difficulties of being bilingual in the HIV/AIDS sector. This is a quote. My ability to speak Spanish as a native speaker and not having learned it in school, having culture attached to my language. It was difficult because they didn't take my experience as something credible because I did not go to a university." Here's another. A Black man speaks to his experiences. "When I have to be there as a brother, they don't like the type of rapport, the type of interaction. They see it as a threat to them. They see it as militant or as something that they should be afraid of. So they use these terms. This paperwork in these instances that they deem to be something to get me fired." And this is the last one. A worker speaks. "One white manager started at this supervisor started as a supervisor for their staff. After that, and then she became the director of a department under this grant most recently. I am still in the same position that I have been in for years. She started after me.
Dominique, your 3 minutes are elapsed, but take a few moments to wrap up, please.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay. When we realize that we must manifest requires tools that we create, instead of those imposed on us by white supremacist, cis, patriarchal capitalist systems, there is an internal dying that is required so that what is necessary to birth becomes possible. Destruction equals rebirth. Allow what no longer serves you to destroy itself. The rebirth will follow. The rebirth will follow.